نويت الأربعين، نويت الاعتكاف، نويت الخلوة، نويت العزلة، نويت الرياضة، نويت السلوك لله تعالى العظيم في هذا المسجد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين. First question from the 40 questions. What is the name of Sayyidina Abu Hamid al-Ghazali? What is the name of his Shaykh? You write it for the 40 questions. MashaAllah. Good to know. Yusuf al-Nasaj. And we spoke about Sayyidina Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, Hujjatul Islam, that he said that to accompany, it is an obligation to accompany someone who can lead you and guide you to the right way. That's someone that has already experiences in the way of Gnostics, the way of looking for the truth. Not everyone looks for it. Majority, they are happy with what they have. Some, they like to increase their knowledge more and more. Then they have to look for someone who can guide them in that way, because a lot of obstacles for the good, to see you how much you are patient and how much you will listen to that guide. So we continue the story of Sayyidina Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, of his dream. He said, at the beginning of my life, I was denying everything. And even I am denying the state of those who are very pious and sincere. Those ones who follow the way of Sahaba, the way of Prophet. And until I accompanied my Shaykh, Yusuf al-Nasaj. Al-Nasaj means the one who weaver. Yeah, like carpets and so on. He began to polish me, giving me different tests. Until I reach a level, and he is saying, I reach a level that I begin to receive inspirations, good inspirations, no more bad inspirations. When you say Allahu Akbar, in prayer, nothing takes him right or left. He's focusing on Allah's greatness and love of Allah and love of Prophet. Grand Shaykh, may Allah bless his soul, here I put something between brackets. He said that when he was polished very well by his teacher, he began to feel pity for everyone. He began to feel that he wants help everyone. Like today, you can see people, they help homeless, they help organizations, they help hospitals, they help clinics. But this is in more broad spectrum, the way that awliyaullah, they work and they help. He said one day it was the night of 12 Rabi'ul Awwal. The night of birth of Islam. Birth of Islam came with the birth of Prophet. No one can say, oh no, he got the message when he became 14. He was ordered to expose the message when he was 14. But he got his knowledge, Islam came with his birth. So he said that one day, out of a complete coming to me to help that person, that because they were going to hang him wrongly, with wrong decision, the wrong judgment. They were going to kill someone by hanging. At that time, they used to hang a lot. I will have to write a quick letter to save him. So I'm writing and almost finishing a fly sat on the ink that I'm writing with, on the pen, what you call the quail. Quail. Quill. I said to myself, this fly is Allah created creation for the love of Prophet. And that one was created for love of Prophet. Still I have time for that person to save him, so let me feed that fly from that ink. So he froze his hand with the pen between his fingers until this fly quenched its thirst and went. At that night, Allah was sending His gaze on him. And this was the action, his action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately dressed him to completely throw away from his heart any kind of doubts and cleaned his heart and sent these waridat, we say in Arabic, inspirations, heavenly inspiration to his heart. Means open for him the scope of vision, maqam al-mushahada, the level of witnessing everyone, knowing what people around him, what they have been written for them. He was able to detect that from heavenly sources. That night, he saw Allah in the dream. He said, فَرَأَيْتُ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى فِي الْمَنَامِ. I saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the dream. فَقَالَ لي, he said to me, يا أبا حامد, دع شواغلك. Drop from your life everything that takes your time, waste your time. You don't need that. You don't need to work in dunya, ad-dunya ad-daniya. It is said in Arabic, ad-dunya jifatun wa tullabuha kilabu. It is said that this dunya is a corpse. Is a corpse. And people running after it, biting here, one bite, are like dogs. So don't let dunya to take all your mind. Not say don't work in dunya or don't raise your children in dunya. He said no, but don't let dunya take your akhirah. Leave everything concerning dunya and come and accompany some people that I made them under my gaze. Always I am looking at them. It is said there are 124,000 wali in every time. When one die, another one replace. Are under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gaze because they are inheritors of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-ulama warathatul anbiya. Ulama are the inheritors of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now from where we got this number, might be some asks. And we say Ibn Abbas mentioned this number in Tafsir Surah Al-A'raf. And he continues saying that Allah said, leave everything wasting your time and accompany those whom I put them on earth to be under my gaze. Find them. Can you find? Can we find? Yeah, alhamdulillah, Allah guided us to great sheikhs. We saw what kind of knowledge they gave. Don't count the person on his don't count the person that he has a good sheikh or a strong sheikh means you are safe. No, you cannot. If you follow his order, you will be safe. If you follow his ways, you will be safe. But don't sit and say, my sheikh can do on my behalf. You cannot. You have to struggle and to do. Don't sit in the chair of the sheikh. In his chair. It's not like. It's not a good manner to sit in your sheikh's chair. That chair, you keep it. It is an example of it remind you of your sheikh. Don't sit on it. Adab. He said that he said هم الذين باعوا الدارين بحبي. Those people whom under my gaze are the people who sold dunya and akhirah for my love. And we mentioned that yesterday. And he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the dream, this is what he's saying. قُلْ بِعِزَّتِكَ إِلَّا أَذَقْتَنِي بَرْدَ حُسْنِ الظَّنِّ بِهِمْ. For your glory, Ya Rabbi, let me taste the goodness of the good thought about them, to find them and have no doubts about them, but instead to have good thinking about them. When I look at them, I feel happy, because it is mentioned in many places in the dhikr al-salihin, tanzil al-rahma. When you mention the name of pious people, mercy will come down. If you mention their names, mercy comes down. If you see them, what will come down? You don't know. Allah knows. his beloved Prophet ﷺ. Because he is feeding the awliya Allah, he's giving to them. وَكُلُّ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ مُلْتَمِسٌ. Everyone seeking from Prophet ﷺ. Oh Allah, let me feel that smell, nice smell of their presence. Let me see what they are saying. Let their tongue describe how to go on this Gnostic journey. And learn from them. I have failed my life. I have denied everything. I'm ashamed from you. Oh Allah, guide me to what you like. Give me that coolness in my heart toward them. And the answer came, قد فعلت. The answer that came to him through the dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I did already to your heart. You will feel their goodness into your heart. You will never doubt them. I put that power within you. You asked, you left dunya and akhirah for my love, I'm giving you. Because he was sincere, asking with sincerity. And we make dua. Sometimes dua doesn't come true. That doesn't, we don't see the answer. But Allah said, ادعوني أستجب لكم. Ask me, I will respond, I will accept, I will give you what you are asking. But we are not seeing it. Because dua has to connect with the good manners. Dua has to connect with the state of conscious and unconscious. The state of when you are making, why he was accepted? Because he was in a state of complete submission. But when we do our du'as, when we are reciting the du'a, our mind, they found scientists that our mind is vibrating lot of fiery vibrations. So he is more your mind with the dunya than with the akhirah. They found that if you relax yourself and bring these vibrations from how many, you know how many psychiatrists, how many vibrations, magnetic waves, information come in a moment, in a minute, brain is shooting out in the conscience. They say it's like hundreds of them in a minute coming out. The other side, if you relax your brain until it becomes to a cycle, to vibration between 14 and 7 vibrations per second, drop down from a minute, 100 from a minute, it's like a gearbox. You are synchronizing the two sides together, connecting that tube of information to come through. Then at that time, because you are in a mood of relaxation, and this happen in zikrullah. So that's why shuyukh give you to make zikr in order to bring your mind to a state of submission, state of relaxation that has no more than 7 to 14 of vibrations per second. So that channel is open. So when you ask, the response comes. But when that synchronized, when it doesn't synchronize, they are one here, no synchronization. So whatever comes from asking dua, it doesn't fit it doesn't come to the right place. It goes to somewhere else. But when you synchronize them, that tube is open. Your dua will be accepted. His dua was accepted. Because he what? He let that fly to suck from the ink, because Allah created her for love of Prophet. Allah created him for love of Prophet. This is what he came to him. Then he asked, Ya oh Allah, let me taste the coolness of their husn al-zan, of their having good thoughts about them. Allah said in the dream, of course, that having the voice coming, قد فعلت, I did. It's open for you now. And the difference between them and you, between these good people and you, is because both of you left dunya for me. I'm connecting you now to them. فقد أفضت عليك أنوارا من جوار قدسي. I have manifested, I am manifesting on you lights from my nearness, holy nearness. From that nearness, I am sending these lights to you. From my presence, I am sending these lights to you. I wake up very happy. Before he waked up, he said, he heard Allah saying to him in the dream, of course, فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا مُخْتَارًا قَبْلَ أَن تَخْرُجَ مِنْهَا صَاغِرًا. Go out of dunya with your will now, voluntarily, before you will leave dunya by force. The day of death. Come out from this dunya. By choice, by your choice. Before you will be, you have no choice, you are going to come out of it. When that happens, judgment will be difficult. Punishment will be difficult. Come out now. I have already sent on you my gaze. I have already sent on you my lights from my nearness. I wake up very happy. Where do I have to go? When you have something like that, you run to your Shaykh. No one can sit in the Shaykh's place. Even inheritors, they cannot sit in the Shaykh's place. And I will mention a story that you are not allowed to sit in the Shaykh's chair. If you are really want the reality, then you have to follow what happened before you. If you were not present because you are for certain reasons, it doesn't mean that it did not happen. No, it happened. You cannot sit in the Shaykh's chair. Wherever you are. Shaykh's place always you have to respect with adab. Sayyidah Maryam, because of her piety and sincerity in her niche, in her chair, on her place, Allah made that place for a dua to be accepted in it. Made Zakaria to go back asking a child, Ya Rabbi, give me a child. Where he went to to the niche of Sayyida Maryam. Sayyida Maryam is not a prophet. Sayyidina Zakaria is a prophet. كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا. Whenever he entered, he see provisions there. He said, from where is this? She said, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Spiritual provision, physical provisions. Allah gave her dunya and akhirah. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه. There in that place, he went with all adab and he asked for Allah to give him a child. Allah gave him. Synchronizing the place with the dua. You are like gearbox, synchronizing the transmission with what in the gearbox? With the other side of the transmission to run the engine, and then the tires will run. You want your tires run and the engine run? Synchronize your dua in a place that will be accepted in Madinatul Munawwara, in Makkah al-Mukarramah. In places where you know that your Shaykh was there in his life, like too many maqams today. Why people they go to maqams? To respect the one that who owns that maqam, who is sitting who is sleeping in that maqam. You cannot. Okay, you want his chair? Go in his grave also. For some hours, we'll see. You can dare to do that. So I will mention a story that I saw. When Grand Shaykh was sick in his last days, not too far, he got sick, and it was a Friday, between Asr and Maghrib, we do zikrullah there, in his zawiyah, in his dargah, in his khanika, in his ribat, whatever you call it. And he ordered, where is Shaykh Nazim? Like that. When he comes, because still a little bit time, when he comes, let him lead the prayer and the zikr. When Maulana came, Maulana Shaykh Nazim, may Allah bless his soul. I don't believe, I have to admit that till today I'm not believing he died. In our hearts he is living. In this dunya he's not here. So we used to make a like this, what you call it, not in the mihrab, in the corner of at the end of the zawiyah, for everyone coming can sit and see him. So we lift the mat, we put mattress that he can sit on. And Maulana at that time he has some khalifas. Some people, some representing him in here, as Maulana Shaykh Nazim, as every Shaykh. Maulana ordered that Maulana Shaykh Nazim will do the zikr and the prayers. We prayed, we finished, and the zikr comes. Maulana, this is the corner, let's say, the mattress is there, Grand Shaykh place. He didn't sit on them, he sat on the side, out of respect, that this is the chair of my Shaykh. I cannot sit on it, not even if he alive or not alive, I cannot sit on it. Adab, respect, discipline. he didn't sit in it, and he was sitting on the side. And one of the Grand Sheikh representatives came all the way from the other side, and he sat on it, and took his miswak and hit on the head of Maulana Shaykh. And he said, I will not repeat what he said, but not nice words. So the people want to beat him up and throw him. Maulana Shaykh said, no. Then they came to him and they said, you leave or we will throw you out. He left. But he was not happy. Maulana continued. He didn't sit on it. He kept sitting on the side. Adab with the respect of the chair of the Shaykh. It's not a holy chair that you cannot sit on it, but you don't sit on it when you are giving an advice, because it is not, you cannot fit, your personality is not the personality of the Shaykh who was sitting on it. Leave a space, leave at least a space that you cannot sit in his maqam. Everybody, his maqam is known. No one can sit in the place of another wali. So don't overthink. You think that you can carry what the Shaykh is carrying. You can do what the Shaykh was doing. No, you cannot. You do according to your capacity. So he said that I wake up very happy and went directly to my teacher. What is his name? Al-Nassaj. And I told him the story of my dream. فتبسم, he smiled. And he said, يا أبا حامد, O Imam Ghazali, Abu Hamid, هذه ألواحنا في البداية. This is still the beginning. These are our gifts and rewards that we gave you from the beginning. What do you think about the end? This is the first step you are stepping in. بل إن صحبتني. So there is a difference between a Shaykh and Shaykh of Suhbah. Two different. No one can be, very few can be Shuyukh at the same time Shaykh al-Suhbah. To be the Shaykh, and you can carry those who accompany you. They will be with you. Shaykh al-Suhbah, Shaykh can be any Shaykh who is pious, sincere, and can be wali, but cannot be Shaykh al-Suhbah. Means he make you to be with him all the time. That's Grand Shaykh, may Allah bless his soul. When he was ordered from his Shaykh to carry the responsibility, because Shaykh Sharafuddin was leaving dunya, they feel it. They know that there is something coming. So before he died by 3 days, he wrote his will, giving to carry on to Maulana Shaykh Abdullah Qaddasallahu Sirruh. He once, when he was telling Grand Shaykh, this is, you carry the responsibility, he said, no, not neglect and saying no against what you wish. If you wish, I will carry. But what is the benefit if I don't put, when I make a suhbah, an advice, in an association, and I have 100, 200, 300, 5,000, if I don't raise them to my state where I am speaking from, I don't want that. Because I don't depend on what they do. I depend on what I do for them. So if you get me that, then okay, I will accept. That was granted. I don't know, I don't want to say how, but was granted. He accepted. So means, whenever he is speaking, if he mention a wali in his suhbah, that wali is responsible to dress that person from his secrets, from his divide that Prophet has dressed him, he dressed that person from that night. This how it is a reaction, like in a chain, nuclear reaction. It doubles from one sheikh more. You speak about 5 sheikhs in the suhbah, 5 sheikhs will give you, not one. You speak about 10 of them, 10 give you. From everyone you get. So it is chain reaction. He said, this is the beginning, but if you accompany me, you will not believe it. I will open the eyes for you. I will open your basira, your vision. You will be able to see what cannot be seen. At that time you need to kuhl. What you call the kuhl? They put ladies in the gold. At that time ستكحل بصيرتك باسم التأييد. You will be, it's Arabic, how to translate it. You will be so happy that you are, with what you are going to see is like kuhl on the eyes of people. How make the eyes very beautiful and take all the dirtiness and sickness from the eye. That kuhl, the sunnah of Prophet. You are going to make that visions that I will open for you as kuhl in your eyes. If Abu Hamid al-Ghazali is saying like that, why they are ignoring tasawwuf? Why they are ignoring? When they know these things has been said, and he will never write it if it is not mentioned. He said also, it is important for any Gnostic that he wants to begin this journey to have a shaykh. You cannot do it by yourself. Even if you have it and you have all the requirements for it, still you need the shaykh to prescribe for you how you can go on that highway. You cannot do it by yourself. Prophet ﷺ, before he left dunya, he put the four guided Khalifa. He was so close to them, one after one, in order to guide the Sahaba to the right way, to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, until the day of judgment. And today, there are inheritors that they are inheriting from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. through his khulafa, through his sahaba, to their hearts, to the khulafa of today, to carry that responsibility until day of judgment. For that we say, he is saying, Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, this everything I'm said now is from him. He said, فَالسَّالِكُ لَا يَسْتَغْنِي عَنِ الْمُرْشِدِ الْبَتَّةِ. For the one who is seeking that journey cannot drop, undo without a murshid. He has to have a murshid to guide him. يحتاج المريد إلى شيخ وأستاذ يقتدي به. Murid is in need to have a sheikh in order that he will follow him until take him to the presence of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, and this is very wise, إن سبيل الدين غامض. The way of religion is mysterious. It's difficult to understand. وسبيل الشيطان كثيرة. And the ways of shaitan, too many. They are ظاهرة. ظاهرة. You can see it everywhere. It's too much everywhere. It's dunya. In dunya, shaitan is active. You see the people following shaitan are so many. Because it's everywhere. But those who are following the religion, as Prophet mentioned, and this is still the words of Hamid al-Ghazali, as Prophet mentioned, Al-Qabidu ala dini, Al-Qabidu ala al-Jamr. The one holding his religion is as if he's holding coal fire in his hands. We stop here, we continue inshallah next day, and I will continue the hadith of Prophet tomorrow, because it's 1 hour. وَمِنَ اللَّهِ التَّوْفِيقِ. But I will mention the beginning of the hadith that 7 group of people, that Allah will give them shade when there is no shade except His shade. They didn't let me to go. I said, say the hadith. Or some people going. سيدنا أبو هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 7 يظلهم الله في ظله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. 7 Allah will give them shade in the day of judgment where there is no shade. The whole brain of people will be burning. Imam Adil. An imam who is just. He doesn't take side. He make right decision, alhamdulillah. He make false decision, alhamdulillah. His intention is good. We'll not go through that explanation of it, but through it later we can explain it. وَشَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. And a young one being raised on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala worshipness. وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. And a man or a woman, whatever, his heart is so connected with the masajid. He likes to go to mosques. ورجلان تحابا في الله اجتمعا عليه وتفرقا عليه. And 2 people, 2 men or 2 women, they met each other on the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Means their friendship is for Allah's love. Their friendship is to encourage these 2 sides to be good, to be sincere, to be raised well, to go to the masajid. They meet on Allah's love, they separate on Allah's love. ورجل دعته امرأة ذات منصب وجمال فقال إني أخاف الله. And a man finds someone, that beautiful lady, and some kind of, what you say, interaction, and he and her did what is not nice to do. So he says, no, I cannot. I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I tried to soften it, but in hadith we cannot soften it. Let me explain it. ورجل دعته امرأة ذات منصب وجمال. And a man, a lady called him, she is very beautiful, she has a very high status, she called him to stay with her, to sleep with her. فقال إني أخاف الله. He says, no, I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I cannot. And he left. He didn't fall into the sin. ورجل تصدق بصدقة فأخفاها حتى لا تعلم شماله ما تنفق يمينه. And someone gave a donation and hid his donation. He didn't tell anyone. He didn't say, I gave this, I gave that. Like today they do many brochures, how much they made. Everyone there. How much it's advertisement now, commercial, business. What you can do. Someone who gave a donation and he hid it from his left to know what his right has given. To himself even. Doesn't want his left side to know what his right side did. وَرَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَهُ. And a man or a woman made zikr until tears came from their eyes. متفق عليه. Until his tears flooded, his eyes flooded from tears. متفق عليه Bukhari and Muslim. These 7 people, look where you can fit in. Do we fit in anyone? I don't think so. Only those who are young might fit. But who are adults and they went through all these routes, shaitan routes, I don't think, except to say astaghfirullah daily. Astaghfirullah al-azim wa atubu ilayh. Inshallah, Allah will forgive. Ya Rabbi, we are sinful servants. If that hadith put all of us in hellfire. Ya Rabbi, be merciful on us. Give permission to Prophet ﷺ to intercede for us. Ameen. Without his intercession, we would be lost. Grand Shaykh, may Allah bless his soul, I quote him. He said, every hadith you recite, you read, not just recite, you read. If speaking about azab, Allah take away azab from you. If he speaks about rahmah, he dress you with rahmah. So we ask, Ya Rabbi, dress us with your shade. Ameen. Like you are dressing these 7 different groups of Muslims. May Allah forgive us. Ameen. May Allah bless us. بحرمة الحبيب وحرمة الفاتحة.